The red dust of Mars swirled against the observation windows of Research Station Olympus. Dr. Maya Patel stood at her usual spot, coffee in hand, watching the eternal dance of rust-colored particles against the reinforced glass. 6 months into her rotation as the station's lead xenobiologist, she had grown accustomed to the view. But something about today felt different. The signal had appeared 3 hours ago. At first, the station's sensors dismissed it as another dust storm interference pattern, but Maya knew better. She had spent years studying potential biosignatures on Mars, and this was unlike anything she'd ever seen. Dr. Patel. Commander Jack Torres's voice broke through her contemplation. The latest analysis is ready. Maya turned to face the station's military liaison, a man whose presence had initially seemed unnecessary on a scientific outpost. Now, as she studied the concern etched on his weathered face, she was grateful for his experience. "Show me," she said, following him to the primary lab. The holographic display flickered to life, showing a three-dimensional representation of the signal source. Buried beneath 20 meters of Martian soil lay something that defied explanation. A structure that wasn't there in any previous geological surveys. It just appeared. Maya asked, though she already knew the answer. The weekly subsurface scans had shown nothing unusual until today. "That's not even the strangest part," Torres replied, manipulating the display. "Watch this." The hologram zoomed in, revealing patterns of energy emission that pulsed with an unmistakable rhythm. Maya's heart raced as she recognized what she was seeing. These weren't random fluctuations. This was language. "We need to assemble an expedition team," she said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Whatever this is, it's trying to communicate." Torres nodded, already reaching for his comm unit. "I'll notify Earth Command, but given our position, we'll need to make the initial assessment ourselves. The nearest support is 2 months away." Within hours, a small team was assembled. Maya found herself sealed in an exploration rover alongside Torres and 2 other crew members. Dr. Sarah Chen, a geologist, and technical specialist Marcus Rodriguez. As they traversed the Martian landscape, Maya couldn't help but think about how humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries. The journey to the signal's location took 4 hours, each minute building the tension inside the rover. When they finally arrived, the site appeared unremarkable, just another stretch of Martian desert. But the sensors told a different story. "Beginning excavation sequence," Rodriguez announced, deploying the rover's automated drilling system. The first 19 meters revealed nothing but typical Martian soil and rock. Then, at exactly 20 meters, the drill struck something that sent a shudder through the entire vehicle. "Energy spike," Chen called out, her fingers flying over her console. "Whatever's down there, it just powered up." Before anyone could respond, a beam of light erupted from the excavation site, forming a perfect sphere around the rover. Inside the sphere, the Martian atmosphere seemed to shift, becoming clearer, almost Earth-like. "Environmental readings are changing," Rodriguez reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. "Temperature normalizing. Atmosphere. This is impossible. The composition is adjusting to match Earth standard conditions." Maya stepped toward the rover's exit hatch, her hand hovering over the release. Torres caught her arm. "Dr. Patel, we haven't confirmed it's safe." "Look at the readings, Commander," she replied softly. "Whatever this is, it's not trying to harm us. It's trying to welcome us." After a moment's hesitation, Torres nodded. Together, they cycled through the airlock and stepped onto the Martian surface. Within the sphere, the usual necessity of full pressure suits was gone. They needed only basic protective gear. The ground beneath their feet began to shift, and Maya watched in amazement as the red soil parted, revealing a smooth metallic surface. A seam appeared in the material, spreading outward like a blooming flower. "This is Dr. Maya Patel of Earth's Mars Research Station Olympus," she announced, her voice clear in the transformed atmosphere. "We are here in peace." The seam completed its pattern, and a section of the surface slid away, revealing a softly lit passage leading downward. From within, a voice responded, not in sound waves, but directly in their minds. "We have waited long for this moment, children of Earth," the voice said, its tone carrying both ancient wisdom and profound relief. "We are the Guardians, and we have a truth to share that will forever change your understanding of humanity." Maya and Torres exchanged glances. Humanity's first contact wouldn't be a discovery of alien life. It would be a revelation about ourselves. As they prepared to descend into the structure, Maya realized that every scientific paper she'd ever written, every theory she'd developed, was about to be rewritten. The true story of human origins was waiting below, and with it, a destiny that would reshape the galaxy itself. The descent into the Guardian facility felt like stepping through time itself. Maya's scientific mind struggled to process the impossible architecture around them. Surfaces that seemed to flow like liquid while maintaining perfect structural integrity, light that emanated from nowhere and everywhere at once. "Your confusion is natural," the mental voice continued, now tinged with what Maya could only interpret as amusement. "Your species has progressed remarkably quickly, but there is still much you have yet to understand." They emerged into a vast chamber that defied the laws of physics as humanity knew them. The space seemed to extend infinitely in all directions, yet somehow remained intimate and comprehensible to their human minds. At its center, a figure materialized, not solid, but composed of intricate patterns of light and energy. "I am Sentinel-3, last of the active guardians on this world," the being introduced itself. "We have watched your species since the beginning, since the day our own people made a choice that would alter the course of galactic history." Torres stepped forward, his military training evident in his measured response. "You're saying you had something to do with human evolution?" "Not exactly," Sentinel-3 replied. "We made a choice to do nothing, and that has made all the difference." The chamber filled with holographic images, ancient Earth, primitive hominids, the long march of human evolution. 50,000 of your years ago, our civilization faced a crisis of conscience. We had the power to perfect developing species, to guide their evolution toward what we considered ideal forms. Many of our people believed this was our duty, to shepherd life toward enlightenment. Maya watched as the images showed other worlds, other species, all seemingly developed to an identical template of technological and biological advancement. But Earth was different. Yes, when we discovered your world, there was fierce debate among our people. Some saw the potential in your species' chaotic diversity, your remarkable adaptability. Others wanted to fix what they saw as flaws. Your strong emotions, your unpredictability, your tendency to take paths that seemed illogical to our sensibilities. The images shifted to show ancient guardian observers, watching human tribes survive ice ages, develop tools, create art, wage wars, and build civilizations. Those of us stationed here made an unprecedented decision. We would observe, but not interfere. We would let humanity develop naturally, preserving your unique characteristics. That's why you're revealing yourselves now, Maya realized, her voice barely a whisper. Something's changed. The Sentinel's form flickered with what might have been concern. Yes, our civilization split over this philosophical difference. Those who believed in forced advancement, we call them the Shapers, continued their work across the galaxy. They've created hundreds of species in their preferred image, all perfectly logical, perfectly ordered, and perfectly stagnant. New images appeared, showing worlds of identical cities, populated by beings that moved with mechanical precision. But now they've turned their attention to Earth. They've detected your radio signals, observed your space exploration efforts. They're coming, and they believe they're coming to save you from your imperfections. Torres's hand instinctively moved to where his sidearm would normally be. "How long do we have?" "Months, perhaps a year. Their ships are already moving through your solar system. But this is why we chose this moment to reveal ourselves. Humanity has proven our faith in you correct. Your species has developed something unique in the galaxy, the ability to face challenges in ways that even we cannot predict. Maya stepped closer to the Sentinel's glowing form. You're not just warning us. You're asking for our help, aren't you? Yes, the Shapers have created an empire of conformity, but they've also created their own weakness. They cannot comprehend or adapt to truly unexpected actions. Humanity, with its capability for lateral thinking, for improvisation, for finding solutions that seem to defy logic, you represent something they've never faced before. The chamber darkened, and new images appeared. Massive ships approaching the solar system, each one larger than Earth's largest cities. We can provide you with technology, with knowledge, but we cannot tell you how to use it. That unpredictability, that spark of chaos that makes your species unique, is exactly what the galaxy needs now. Maya looked at Torres, seeing in his expression the same mix of fear and determination she felt. Humanity had dreamed of first contact, had wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew the truth. They weren't alone, but they were unique. And that uniqueness might be the key to preserving free will across the galaxy. What exactly are you offering? Torres asked, his tactical mind already at work. Everything, the Sentinel replied. All our knowledge, all our technology. But more importantly, we offer you a choice, the same choice we made 50,000 years ago. Will humanity stand for diversity, for the right of species to develop in their own way? Or will you accept the Shaper's vision of enforced perfection? Maya stepped forward, her voice steady. You already know our answer. We've spent our entire history fighting against those who would force others to conform to a single vision of what's right. We won't stop now, not when the stakes are this high. The Sentinel's form brightened. Then let us begin. There is much to prepare, and little time. The next few months will determine not just humanity's fate, but the future of free will itself in this galaxy. As Maya and Torres exchanged determined looks, they knew that everything they'd learned today was just the beginning. Humanity was about to face its greatest challenge, and its greatest opportunity to prove that perfection comes not from conformity, but from the beautiful chaos of natural development. 3 months after the revelation at Mars, Earth had transformed. The Guardians' knowledge had accelerated human technological development by centuries, but not in the way anyone had expected. Rather than simply adopting alien technology wholesale, humanity had done something unprecedented. They had begun to reinvent it. In a repurposed airplane hangar in Nevada, Maya watched as engineers combined Guardian quantum computers with neural network designs inspired by human brains. The result was something entirely new, artificial intelligence that could think laterally, unpredictably, like humans. The Shapers won't expect this, Torres said, standing beside her. He'd been promoted to Global Defense Coordinator, though the title seemed inadequate for someone helping to organize Earth's first interstellar defense. They're used to species either accepting their guidance or trying to fight them with conventional weapons. Maya nodded, watching as the hybrid AI system processed combat scenarios at impossible speeds, generating solutions that even the Guardians admitted they would never have conceived. That's why we're not doing either. We're becoming something new. Around the world, similar projects were underway. In Bangalore, scientists had combined Guardian energy manipulation technology with human music theory, creating weapons that operated on harmonic frequencies. In Rio, researchers had adapted Guardian quantum communication systems using principles from human social networks, developing a command structure that was simultaneously hierarchical and completely decentralized. Latest report from the Outer System probes, Torres said, checking his neural interface. Another hybrid technology that merged Guardian data systems with human intuitive design. The Shaper fleet will reach Mars orbit in 2 months. Maya turned to the massive holographic display dominating the hangar's far wall. It showed Earth's defensive preparations, a mix of conventional military units, hastily constructed spacecraft, and more exotic creations. How many ships? Thousands, But numbers aren't what worry me. Torres manipulated the display, zooming in on detailed scans of the Shaper vessels. Look at the uniformity. Every ship identical, every tactical pattern predictable. They're so convinced of their superiority that they've engineered out any capacity for adaptation. Then we'll show them the value of imperfection, Maya replied, leading Torres to her own project. In a sealed chamber, dozens of scientists worked with equipment that seemed to defy description, part biological, part technological, all following principles that merged Guardian science with human creativity. Project Prometheus, Torres asked, reading the designation on the chamber door. Maya smiled. Named after the Greek titan who gave fire to humanity. The Guardians gave us their knowledge. Now we're doing something unexpected with it. She gestured to the strange devices being assembled. We're not just preparing to fight the Shapers. We're preparing to change them. The chamber contained what looked like a virus laboratory merged with a quantum computing center. The Shapers believe in perfection through uniformity, Maya explained. But we've discovered that their drive for perfection has made them vulnerable. Their biology, their technology, even their society. It's all built on the same fundamental patterns. And you found a way to disrupt those patterns. Better. Maya activated a display showing molecular structures that shifted between biological and technological forms. We've found a way to introduce chaos into their systems, not to destroy them, but to free them. To give them back the capacity for change, for growth, for imperfection. Torres studied the display, his military mind grasping the implications. A contagion that spreads diversity. Exactly. The Shapers see themselves as perfect beings uplifting lesser species. We're going to show them that true perfection comes from embracing imperfection, from the ability to change and adapt. Their conversation was interrupted by an alert from the Global Defense Network. New data was coming in from the outer system probes. The Shaper fleet had accelerated. They would reach Earth in 3 weeks, not 2 months as previously calculated. They must have detected our preparations, Torres said, already sending orders through his neural interface. They're not going to give us time to finish our work. Maya turned to her team, seeing determination rather than fear in their faces. Then we'll have to improvise. Good thing that's what humans do best. Around the world, humanity's preparations shifted into high gear. Traditional military forces moved into defensive positions while hybrid technology installations came online. In orbit, hastily constructed ships crewed by humans and Guardian human AI prepared for battle. But Earth's true defense would not come from ships or weapons. As Maya's team worked around the clock to finish Project Prometheus, she reflected on the irony of the situation. The Shapers were coming to perfect humanity, to eliminate what they saw as flaws. Instead, humanity would show them that their own drive for perfection was their greatest flaw, and that true advancement came not from eliminating chaos, but from learning to thrive within it. 2 weeks to projected contact, Torres announced. Will we be ready? Maya looked at the molecular machines taking shape in her lab, each one designed to spread not destruction, but transformation. We don't have a choice. The future of diversity in the galaxy depends on it. The countdown to humanity's greatest test had begun. They would face the Shapers not as primitive beings in need of uplift, but as champions of a fundamental truth the Shapers had forgotten. That life's greatest strength lies not in perfection, but in its endless capacity for change. The Shaper fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system exactly as predicted, a perfect formation of identical ships moving with mechanical precision. What they found waiting for them, however, was anything but predictable. From her position aboard the Earth Defense Force flagship Prometheus, Maya watched as humanity's response unfolded. The ship's bridge was a fusion of Guardian technology and human design, organic curves housing quantum computers that interface directly with human thought patterns. They're scanning us, Torres reported from his command station. Their formation hasn't changed. They're following standard first contact protocols exactly as the Guardians predicted. Maya nodded, monitoring the progress of Project Prometheus through her neural interface. Throughout the fleet, specially modified vessels carried their secret weapon, not bombs or beams, but the potential for change itself. The first transmission from the Shapers came exactly on schedule. A face appeared on the main view screen. Humanoid but unnaturally perfect, every feature precisely symmetrical. "Children of Earth," the being spoke in flawless English, "we come to offer you perfection." Torres stepped forward, following the carefully crafted plan. "We are honored by your attention," he replied, his voice steady. "But before we proceed, we wish to share something with you, a gift from Earth." The Shaper's expression didn't change. It couldn't, Maya realized. They had engineered out the capacity for spontaneous emotional response. "Your current state of development does not allow for meaningful exchange. We will proceed with the standardization process. It is for your own good." That's when humanity unleashed its first surprise. Instead of weapons, Earth's ships began broadcasting. Music. Not just any music, but a carefully crafted symphony that combined human composition with Guardian harmonic principles. The notes carried hidden frequencies that interfaced directly with Shaper technology. "What is this?" the Shaper demanded, the first hint of uncertainty creeping into its perfect voice. "This is back," Torres replied with a slight smile, enhanced with a little human creativity. The music's effect on the Shaper fleet was immediate. Their perfect formation began to waver as the harmonics disrupted their standardized command protocols. But this was just the beginning. "Launch the Prometheus pods," Maya ordered. From ships throughout Earth's fleet, thousands of small pods were deployed. The Shapers, their systems already disrupted by the music, couldn't maintain their usual perfect defense grid. The pods slipped through, attaching themselves to Shaper vessels. "They're activating their weapons," Torres reported calmly. "Right on schedule." The Shaper fleet opened fire. Perfect, predictable patterns of energy weapons that Earth's ships, guided by their hybrid AI systems, had no trouble evading. The chaos of human battle tactics combined with Guardian technology created defense patterns the Shapers couldn't predict. "Your resistance is illogical," the Shaper announced, though Maya could hear something new in its voice. Confusion. "Our way is perfect. We will help you achieve perfection." "Your definition of perfection is stagnation," Maya replied, watching as the Prometheus pods began their work. "True perfection is the ability to change, to grow, to become something new." The pods were releasing their payload, not a weapon of destruction, but a virus that merged biological and technological elements. It spread through the Shaper ship systems, introducing minute variations, tiny imperfections that would grow and multiply. What are you doing to us?" The Shaper's perfect face showed the first traces of expression. Confusion, fear, and something else. Wonder. "We're setting you free," Maya explained. "Your drive for perfection has trapped you in amber, unable to evolve, to adapt, to truly live. We're giving you back the gift of imperfection." The effect spread through the Shaper fleet like ripples in a pond. Ships began moving in different patterns, breaking from their perfect formation. Some opened fire, others retreated, and still others simply held position. For the first time in their history, they were acting as individuals rather than parts of a perfect whole. "This is impossible," the Shaper said, its face now showing a full range of emotions. "We are perfect. We cannot change." "Change is the only constant in the universe," Torres replied. "That's what makes life beautiful." The battle, if it could be called that, lasted less than an hour. The Prometheus virus spread throughout the Shaper fleet, not destroying them but transforming them. Their perfect uniformity gave way to diversity, their rigid protocols replaced by the capacity for choice. As the chaos subsided, Maya watched in amazement as something unprecedented happened. Shaper ships began communicating independently, not with the synchronized precision of before, but with the messy, beautiful uncertainty of true interaction. "They're asking to talk," Torres reported, a note of triumph in his voice. "Not to demand, not to command, just to talk." Maya stepped forward, facing the main view screen where the Shaper's face now showed something that had been engineered out of their species eons ago. Hope. Welcome, she said softly, to the beginning of your imperfect journey. The day humanity faced the Shapers would be remembered not as a great battle, but as a great transformation. They had proven that true strength lies not in achieving perfection, but in embracing the chaos that allows for growth and change. It was the day humanity taught the galaxy that the most beautiful things in existence are the ones that aren't perfect. 5 years after the day Earth changed the Shapers, Maya stood in a chamber that would have once been impossible, a meeting room on a former Shaper vessel where no two beings looked alike. The ship itself had evolved, its once perfect symmetry now bearing the marks of individual modification and creative improvement. Dr. Patel, a voice called. Maya turned to see Kittel, formerly Shaper Command Unit 2477, now leader of what they called the New Path Movement. Like all transformed Shapers, Kittel's appearance had slowly changed as the Prometheus virus allowed for individual expression. The being's once perfect features now showed subtle asymmetries, and its eyes held something the old Shapers would have considered a flaw: curiosity. The latest reports from the outer colonies are inspiring, Kittel said, gesturing to a holographic display. Every world we once perfected is discovering its own path. It's beautiful, in ways we never understood beauty before. Maya studied the display, showing thousands of worlds where the Prometheus virus had spread. Each planet was rediscovering its unique identity, its people learning to embrace change rather than fear it. And the resistance, the ones who still believe in the old way. Dwindling, Torres answered, entering the chamber. Now an ambassador to the transformed Shaper worlds, he had seen firsthand how completely Earth's gift had changed the galaxy. It's hard to argue for enforced perfection when surrounded by the vitality of diversity. The chamber filled with other delegates, transformed Shapers, Guardian representatives, and humans, all gathered for the 5th anniversary of what historians now call the Imperfection Revolution. Maya still marveled at how quickly things had changed. The Prometheus virus hadn't just affected the Shapers' biology and technology. It had transformed their entire civilization. Once they could experience change, could feel emotion and think creatively, they began to see the galaxy in entirely new ways. The worlds they had perfected were gradually being restored, their unique characteristics allowed to re-emerge. We have a request, Kittel announced to the gathered assembly. We wish to rename our species. Shaper no longer fits who we are becoming. What name have you chosen? Maya asked, though she already suspected the answer. We wish to be called the Changed, Kittel replied, to honor both what we were and what we are becoming. Our history will serve as a reminder that true growth comes not from enforcing perfection, but from embracing transformation. The assembly erupted in discussion, not in the ordered, synchronized way of the old Shapers, but in the beautiful chaos of genuine interaction. Maya watched as beings who would once have been enemies debated, laughed, and shared ideas. Did you ever imagine this? Torres asked quietly, standing beside her. When we first met the Guardians on Mars, did you think it would end like this? Maya shook her head. I don't think anyone could have predicted this. That's the point, isn't it? The universe isn't about prediction and control. It's about possibility. Their conversation was interrupted by an alert from Earth. New signals had been detected from deep space, signs of another advanced civilization, one that had apparently hidden itself from both the Guardians and the old Shapers. They say they've been watching, Torres reported, reading the message. Watching to see if anyone in the galaxy would finally stand up to the Shapers. Now they want to talk. Kittel joined them, reading the message with evident excitement. More diversity, more change, more possibilities. We would once have seen this as a problem to be solved. Now we see it as an opportunity to learn. Maya looked around the chamber, at the beings who had once been humanity's greatest threat and were now partners in an ever-changing galaxy. The Guardians had been right. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't technological advancement or military might, but their fundamental understanding that imperfection, change, and diversity were not weaknesses to be eliminated, but strengths to be celebrated. Shall we prepare a response? Torres asked, indicating the message from the new civilization. Maya smiled. Let's do something they won't expect. That's what humans do best, after all. As the assembly began discussing first contact protocols for the newly discovered civilization, Maya reflected on how far they'd come. Humanity had gone from a species facing standardization to one that had taught the galaxy the value of being unstandardized. They had proved that the most perfect thing in existence was the ability to be imperfect, to change, to grow. The future stretched out before them, not as a perfectly ordered pattern, but as an endless series of possibilities. And in that uncertainty lay the greatest adventure of all. The continuing journey of discovery, change, and growth that would never end. As the stars wheeled overhead, visible through the ship's transparent ceiling, Maya knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had changed the galaxy not by force, not by technology, but by sharing their most fundamental truth, that in an infinite universe, the only constant is change itself.